Hello everyone, and welcome back to another brand new video. Today we're going to be going over the most recent episode of Pokemon Horizons, and in today's episode, Liko and Roy finally reunite with one of the rising Voltacklers, and in this case that was Mollie. So if you guys recall, the rising Voltacklers are essentially disbanded, and we see a little bit of that today in a flashback because of what happened to Freed, not to mention the negative reputation they have thanks to the things Spinel had been saying to the public. So Liko and Roy find Mollie working at this Pokemon Center, which was interesting because if you remember when we first got her backstory, we were told that the reason Mollie didn't work at a Pokemon Center, despite coming from a line of Nurse Joys and that family, is because she didn't want to stay confined to a single location, because she knew about all the other Pokemon that would be hurt out in the wild that couldn't get to the Pokemon Center, and she wanted to be able to help all those Pokemon as well. And we actually see her do that here. Even though she is at this Pokemon Center working, we see that she occasionally goes out into the nearby woods and surrounding areas to help Pokemon that she sees are in trouble, or that she finds that are in trouble. And she actually still has Mousehold with her, which I actually liked. And we hadn't really even discussed what happened to the Pokemon that were living on the airship. Like, where is the airship? I assume that Orla has the airship because she and Freed are the ones who built it along with Ludlow. So I assume that either one of them or both of them still has it since Freed is not around. And we never really discussed what happened with those Pokemon that were on the airship. I assume they're still living there, but we don't know. But it seems that at the very least, Mousehold went to be with Mollie and follow along with her, which I actually really liked that detail because they could have easily just kept Mousehold on the ship. But I like how it stayed with Mollie to highlight the fact that it's staying with her because she's the one who originally saved it, her and Liko. So I like that it decided to stick around with her, even though the Rising Voltacklers have split up for now, just to show that, just emphasizing the fact that she's the one who helped them and they're really close to her because of that. So that was really nice to see. And that was pretty much the first half of the episode. The second half of the episode, we continue on with this plot of wild Pokemon being negatively affected by Laqueum, because we end up coming across all these Pokemon that are poisoned, and it turns out that they're all poisoned because of this Vileplume. And so most of the rest of the episode is focusing on battling against this Vileplume, basically the strongest Vileplume on the planet. These guys just really cannot defeat it. It's just hurting them in every single aspect, even when Roy sends out Lucario, because Meowscarada and Crocodile get incapacitated, they're poisoned, they can't do anything. So Roy sends out Lucario, who's a steel type and can't be affected by poison, but that still doesn't even work out because he becomes paralyzed. So this Vileplume is just affecting them with all of the different status conditions, and it's just a struggle, but eventually they're all able to work together. And especially the main highlight of this episode is focusing once again on Hattrem. Anytime it's dealing with Pokemon that are being harmed and need healing, we always get the focus on, or at least we usually get the focus on Hattrem, which is good. I'm glad she still has that focus area. And finally, for the first time ever, we see Liko terastalize Hattrem. Up until now, Liko and Roy had only terastalized their partner Pokemon. This is the first time they are terastalizing one of their other ones, and so that was great to see. So Hattrem's Terra type is Psychic, and she was able to use her now powered up abilities to help take down this Vileplume, along with help from the others, like I said. But I was just really happy to see that. It is a long time coming. I don't know why this is the first time we're seeing these other Pokemon be terastalized, but better late than ever, I guess. I assume in the future we'll see Kilowattrel terastalized, hopefully, and maybe Lucario? I don't know. His whole thing is really Mega Evolution, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. But either way, I was very happy to see that, and they are, like I said, able to defeat the Vileplume. Terrapagos is able to absorb its Laqueum that's been affecting it, and it's able to go back to normal. So overall, the episode ends on a happy note. Mollie does stay at the Pokemon Center, but again, of course, I'm sure it's because they don't have the airship. They can't really go around traveling yet. So I'm assuming once Liko and Roy reunite with everyone and they get the airship back, they will come back for Mollie, but she can't go, of course. It makes more sense for her to stay there now, since we see that there are still Pokemon being negatively affected that need healing. So I assume, like I said, they'll reunite with her officially later. So that's all for today's episode. It ends with Liko, Roy, Captain Pikachu coming across this Exceed location, this building. I guess it's like a battle club or something like that. So yeah, that's what we'll be dealing with next time. We're going to be seeing Coral and Sidian again, and also Olito. I did not even notice that Olito wasn't in this episode until the very end where they showed the preview for the next episode. I didn't really even think about it. So again, like I mentioned last time, Olito seems to be like he's going to be coming in and out between these episodes, not really being a main character, at least not for now. Again, I'm assuming once we get the airship, we'll finally get everyone all together. So that's all for today's episode. You guys can let me know what you thought about it in the comments, and I will see you all next time. Thank you!